Welcome to Meditation Mount, and welcome to the full moon meditation held in the sun sign of Sagittarius with the full moon in Gemini. So, how's everyone doing? We're living through these momentous times in history, and I trust that we're all staying centered and able to hold this transition to a new era in the highest possible light. So let's take a moment to acknowledge and connect with all gathered here today in the livingness of virtual space. So let's take a deep breath together and enter that still place that is our heart. And within the heart, connect with the fire of love. This is the eternal flame that burns at the center of our being. And then from our own heart, and from this fire of love, let us send out lines of lighted love to touch the hearts of all gathered today. And as we do so, we weave together a matrix of love. We create a dynamic field for both receiving and transmitting those cosmic seeds which contain the potential, the promise, and the patterns of the coming renaissance of the soul. So we stand connected in love and ready to do our work. Thank you. So Sagittarius is a fire sign whose symbol is the archer, expressing the quality of one-pointedness and direction. And the arrow, when loosed, speeds towards the chosen target. And the focused nature of Sagittarius is reflected in the motto, I see the goal, I reach that goal, and then I see another. So Sagittarius is an excellent time for cultivating spiritual vision, reorienting ourselves to higher objectives, and rededicating our energies to those goals that the intuition reveals. So as was mentioned, Sagittarius is a fire sign. However, it has a peculiar and particular characteristic referred to in the ageless wisdom teachings as the planetary fire, which produces eventual revelation to the purified person who stands in the light. So the symbolic archer indicates the nature of this zodiacal sign. And we'll see the painting by Nicholas Roerich of the archer and reflect on that. So let's just pause for a second while that is loaded on the screen. The wonderful thing about patience is that we can stand in this space and allow things to happen. And so I'm trusting that the image that Nicholas Roerich painted will be in full view for us very, very shortly. If not, well, it is. So here we are. So let's contemplate the archer. The archer represents the soul who has calmed and mastered the personality and is now compelled to go in the direction of the soul's aspiration and aim. The archer becomes identified with the arrow of spiritual aspiration, with its attendant qualities of one-pointedness, dedication, a focused and intuitive attitude, and the power to see the vision and direct one's course to it. And Sagittarius as a sign is associated with intuition, and the arrow is referred to as the shaft of light. And it is this shaft of the arrow of inspiration which, when fired, returns to the sender as the arrow of intuition. So let's contemplate the bowstring, the arrow, and the archer. If you think about a bow, the bowstring is tied to each end. This represents the tension between the polarities. So when the archer as the soul has mastered the polarities, we can use that tension to send an arrow into the future. And then we move towards that future step by step. So the dynamic balanced tension allows us to fire the arrow and to set something new in motion. And coincidentally, the Sabian symbol for the time of the full moon at 9 degrees in Gemini is the following. A medieval archer stands with the ease of one wholly sure of themselves, bow in hand and quiver full of arrows. So it's interesting that the Sabian symbol coincides with the symbol of Sagittarius. So there are different levels of skill in archery and different levels of skill in the life of the soul. Many of us are beginners, learning the rudimentary elements of the Zen of archery, while others are more advanced. So here's an image of an advanced archer. This is Chainara Mandikalova competing in the 2016 World Nomad Games. And it just shows how we can adapt and adjust ourselves to fire this arrow from any position. So I thought I'd show this image just because it's somebody who's perfected skills that go beyond the normal stance of the archer. Anyway, let's return to Sagittarius. The exoteric ruler of this sign is Jupiter, which carries the gifts of expansion and the beneficent methods of evolution unfoldment on the second ray path of love wisdom. And the esoteric ruler of Sagittarius is Earth. And this provides the third ray energy of active intelligence that enables the one-pointed seeker to move on continually from point to point on the pathway of intuition and achievement. And as was mentioned earlier, this is reflected in the spiritual motto of Sagittarius: I see the goal, I reach that goal, and then I see another. So every time the true seeker finds themselves under the influence of Sagittarius, it's with the goal of reorienting to some new higher objective. We have the task of refocusing towards a higher goal and the unfoldment of some basic and directing purpose. But let's remember, we're talking more than just a personal goal. If we look around the world, we realize that we're standing at a critical juncture in human history, facing a stark choice to either go down the rabbit hole of self-centeredness and greed that leads to a divided world, or to walk together the path of loving kindness that brings about a planetary community of caring and sharing. So the big question, will we elect to have the soul govern and guide us? Or will the drives of our lower nature rule and keep us imprisoned and addicted by putting the personal self above the well-being of the whole? So we're in this tremendous build-up to the solstice on December the 21st. And I think many of you realize the significance of this date, because on the 21st of December, Jupiter and Saturn will be in conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius. It truly is the launch of a new era, the opening of a portal to something new. So if we look at the role of Saturn, Saturn's going to shake things up and have us face our karmic consequences of how we've been behaving as a species. And Jupiter will bring us fiery hope, new possibilities. So it's the perfect time to sow the seeds of this new era and to cultivate the right conditions needed that will allow them to germinate and grow. So here at Meditation Mount, our inner and outer work is very much focused on the cultivation of the vision of this brighter future. And together with individuals and groups around the world, we're called to be spiritual architects, tasked with designing and building a new culture and civilization based upon spiritual principles. And here at the Mount, we're focusing primarily on 3 principles that we believe are foundational for any new society, any new civilization. And these 3 are essential divinity, which says that all life is sacred, that a spark of the eternal flame that burns in the heart of the Creator lives inside each of us and all of creation. In fact, you could say that we are fiery fractals of the one life. Then we have the principle of goodwill, which is love in action, because love is the lifeblood and currency of all relationships. And the third principle is unanimity. And this says that we're all integral aspects of one web of life, interdependent and inseparable. So with these 3 principles as the foundation of a new civilization, we believe it will be a time where we honor and respect ourselves, others, all life, and it will be a joyful celebration of life. So one of the keynotes of our new era will be joy, and we'll be celebrating the diversity, which is the manifold expression of the oneness. So just a couple more things. These 3 principles need to be lived into. And so we have 3 pathways that allow us the opportunity to approach them, live into them, and to embody them to some degree. So the pathway that leads to essential divinity is called spiritual approach. And that could mean that we take the path of the arts. It could be a religious path, a spiritual path, a philosophical path. It's whatever we choose to deepen our relationship with our inner self, with life. And then the pathway that leads towards goodwill is called right human relations. This isn't just right human relations between people, among people. This is also right human relations with all aspects, both visible and invisible, of the ecosystem of Gaia. And then finally, the pathway that leads to unanimity is called group endeavor, because that allows us at a microcosmic level to experience what it means to live and work as one coordinated whole, like this divine dance of coherence. So Sagittarius offers us a collective opportunity for a one-pointed focus on our desired and preferred future. It's really a time to keep our eyes on the prize. And the ultimate prize is the goal of collective self-realization, so that we as a species may play our part in fulfilling the destiny of Gaia. Now, this is a huge undertaking, and it may take hundreds and thousands of years to achieve. But at this time of the great turning, this is when we begin this work. This is when we sow the seeds. This is when we cultivate the soil. So with this in mind and with this in heart, Diana will now lead us in the meditation.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you, Michael. That was beautiful, what you were saying, and thank you, Meditation Mount. It's so good to be here on this powerful full moon as we are coming into a new time, and we are at a portal. And this full moon is an eclipsed full moon on top of it all, as we enter into this new awakening in humanity. And so as we gather today in consciousness, we are building a new thought form, a new world that we, as we come together, bring all of our notes, all of our light to that creation that is being offered from on high. It's a powerful time, and you can feel it, and we're experiencing it, certainly. And there's a lot of conflict, and it's fraught with tension. And so it's been a bumpy ride. But we are here to organize our light so that we are a tuned instrument to be able to offer our note out there and to make the self-corrections and outer corrections to align like a tuned instrument is and does to the note. So we're in harmony together. Meditation harmonizes. It harmonizes our own energy field with Shambhala, right? We are aligned with all that is. And we're aligned also with each other. And so when we come together like this, there are millions of people meditating on any full moon. And there are many of us here tonight together right on this very, very connection. We are connecting and harmonizing our light together. A friend of mine wrote this today and I wanted to share it. This is Tom Carney. The heart is a warrior. Love is a cosmic power. And when we remember that we are instruments of thy peace, right? We are the instruments that are being used through our consciousness, through our chakra system, through our awareness, through our understanding, through our meditation. We add our beautiful note as cosmic warriors of love, of light. And the archer in those beautiful illustrations and photographs that Michael shared are showing that intentionality. And when we meditate in some moments, we're going to align our intentionality with the divine plan. And this is powerful business. And our tools, our right communication, because it is the full moon in Gemini, in the solar Sagittarius, the archer, but it is also the full moon in Gemini ruled by Mercury, which is how we communicate and write communications, that we are having nonviolent communications, even inside ourselves, let alone with each other. And so we're practicing, right? We're tuning our instrument to love. We're tuning our instrument to love. Love does no harm. Yes, and so we're healing our world together. Discernment is another key word for this particular full moon. to be able to move through all the data, through all the news, through all the opinions, through our own opinions, and discern through that the alignment to that divine plan. So we almost have to get out of the way of ourselves sometimes, and our thinking and our ideas, and stand in purity and in harmony, right? Note for note, we are in harmony with that divine plan by removing, not removing, but quietening the ego so that we can hear the note. And so it's a listening, it's a profound listening, which discernment then is understood. What is being said? What is between the lines? What is actually happening? And how can we serve? How can we help? And it always is love. Love is how, right? So we use love as the instrument, right? Of our word, of our action, of our ideas, and our connections. And then we can begin to navigate these turbulent waters that are now. And so that's a good place to move then, to begin to set up the meditation now. I see the goal, I reach that goal, and then I see another. It is the continuum, shooting and firing and shooting and firing, right? Hitting the mark, bullseye, right? And what is that bullseye? The alignment, right? We're connecting with the alignment. And as the moon is full, that the energy from above is closer to our energy here on earth. As we aspire, it is coming down, and we are in closer relationship to that harmonization with the plan. And so just set yourself up now. We're going to go into the meditation in a moment. And I want to start by organizing ourselves. So make yourself comfortable. And when you're ready to, start to close your eyes and begin to take some gentle breaths, because you're already organizing, right? To each other, to this group meditation, to everyone that's meditating on the planet tonight. The full moon is exact at 1:30 a.m. in the morning of Monday, which is just in a few hours from now, in Los Angeles. And wherever you are, it's at different times. But just, it's coming. We're very close to it. And so you can feel the building energy of this full moon. And so take a breath, inhale. And as you exhale, balance the physical body. Feel your body come into tune. Feel the harmony within your own being, in your physicality. These can be done with audible ohms as well, or conscious exhalation. And then take another breath to balance the emotional body. Inhale. And as you exhale, balancing the emotional body, and it's been through a lot. Exhaling. And just let that harmonize and organize. And then finally, take one more breath consciously to balance the mental body. Exhale. And you can feel the components of the self coming more and more into harmony, more and more into the moment, more and more present to this meditation as we join together as an all, as a we, using our instrument, our individual perspective to hold the alignment and to carry the frequency of the divine plan. I'm going to use a seed thought I wrote today from my meditation. And after we offer the seed thought, we're going to move into some 10 minutes or so of silence. So I'll offer it now. And so you prepare the field, still organized inside the self, balanced body, heart, mind, unified energy. And the seed thought is, aligned with light, we move forward. Aligned with light, we move forward without error. Aligned with light, we move forward without fail. Aligned with light, we move forward. Gently sensing that electric blue-white light coming all the way from Sirius, the masters and teachers, through the heart of the sun, the heart of the soul, into the heart of the cave center. Allow this light to organize, harmonize the light of your own being. In your thinking, in the consciousness that we are, in our awareness, and then therefore our action and deed. We feel this reattunement into these very powerful times. Feeling ready. Feeling prepared. Feeling available to all light. Letting it land into your own heart. Aligned with light. We are. And this is from the Agni Yoga book, Heart. This beautiful quote. The thought that issues from the heart is like an unstoppable arrow. And so we loose it. We offer this energy as a blessing to our world and to humanity and to the planet. And just sensing that energy now moving out like a radiation from the sun that touches every consciousness and enlightens every consciousness and awakens every consciousness. And we'll end with the great invocation, the adapted version. If you know it, say it with me. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills. the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
Thank you, Diana. Let's continue to stand in the sacred space that we've created together, holding this one-pointed vision of a new world in the making. And we become aware of other individuals and groups around the world, and we connect with them, and we become one global gathering of lighted hearts. And this planetary matrix of love becomes a field of incarnation for the presence of a greater love, the presence of a greater light, the light of the world. So we visualize ourselves standing collectively as the archer. And we draw back the bowstring. And we loose the arrow of aspiration towards the goal. And we see it winging its way into the heart of humanity, piercing the illusion of separation and opening up new horizons. And through the portal of these new horizons, may we glimpse the beauty that awaits us as we enter a new era where our essential divinity is revealed, where the power of love and goodwill prevails, and where we understand that there is one web of life. This is the vision of the coming era, of our preferred future, that we are being asked to precipitate in the substance of the present. So let's breathe gently together, realizing that there are millions of souls who are called to be a force for good, who are breathing together, who are conspiring. And that the current darkness will break, and that the light of a new day will dawn. This we know. And we support each other in our work on all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally. And we stand together in this deep knowing that the divine plan will be revealed on earth through us. So let's bring ourselves back to more of an external focus so that what we have gathered and harnessed inside the meditation, we can bring into the world. And during the coming days of distribution, we can send out these blessings as a continuous wave into our world. So holding that space, if you'd allow me just to make a couple of announcements about what is next. On Sunday, December the 13th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll have our next view from the Mount. And we'll be using the energies of Sagittarius to explore whatever's happening on the planet. It's 2 weeks away and much could happen, but the idea is that we will explore from the spiritual perspective what is happening in the outer world and how we may be of service. Then on Sunday, December the 20th, which is the day before the actual solstice, we will be hosting an online gathering that we're still working on. The elements are still emerging and coming together, and we will let you know as soon as that presents itself to us. And finally, on Tuesday, December the 29th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the reason is the exact time of the full moon, I think, is 7:29 p.m. And so we will be gathering at 7, so we can avail ourselves of the opportunity of an exact time, full moon, so we stand in that great alignment, real time. So thank you for your presence and participation today, and may we all stay safe and centered, and may we continue to stand firmly in the light of the soul as we set our sights on the shared goal of building a new world together. Blessings from Meditation Mount. Namaste. Namaskar.